Making a tassel doesn't have to be a hassle. Hello. So I am here to school Callie in crafting. Actually, what I'm here to do is go back to basics. I have struggled in all of our challenges, and I think it's because I need just a little bit of practice. I found an article on Idle Hands Awake. I'll put the link in the description. And this article is 10 basic crafting skills. So I think that is gonna help me get some practice. So let's jump right in. The first one is cut a straight line. Feel free to craft along with me if you feel like you need to beef up your skills. I'm gonna try to cut a straight line. We'll see how I do. Also, you know to have scissors that are specifically for paper. These are paper only scissors, not plastic or fabric. Okay, so I think I did pretty good. That's pretty straight. All right, so I think the first one I aced. I think I can cut a pretty straight line. So now we're gonna make a tassel, and I've never made a tassel before, and I don't have any yarn or old t-shirts or anything to use, but what I do have is fettuccine. So we're gonna make this happen. So the first thing you want to do is lay out all your noodles. I usually like my noodles al dente, but I thought they needed to be really pliable for this. Okay, so once you've got them all laid out in a row, like this, you're gonna take another noodle and you want to tie them right down the middle. Okay, I'm gonna double knot it just because I want this to stay put. And these are pretty fresh. I feel like the older they are, the stickier they're gonna be, so you know, make fresh noodles for your tassels. All right, and then this is the part you're gonna hang it from. So then you take it and you fold it in half like this. You wanna take another noodle, tie it like that. All right, so you know, that's not the best tassel. It is my first tassel, and but that's how you're gonna do it. You get your fettuccine. All right, so bam, tassel, done. I have 2 crafting skills. So the next one is contact paper. I'm not gonna do this for you because I have used contact paper before. I'm pretty adept at it. So we're gonna skip over that one. I have made a pom-pom. I'm ace at pom-poms, so I got that down. But we have paint a straight line, which is something I struggle with. So I got my paintbrush here. You wanna get it a little wet when you're using acrylic, just so that everything kind of flows, but then dab it off on a paper towel so you're not overloaded with water. I got a trendy turquoise paint here. That's not too bad. It's not super straight, but I'll take it. Straight line, painted, done. Next we're gonna make a stamp, which I have done before, but I love it so much that I just wanna show you guys. So you can get these little pieces of rubber at craft stores. I got this at my university's bookstore. And you just take a blade to cut off the section you want. An X-Acto knife works best, but I'm just using this old box cutter because I can't find my X-Acto knife. And then you just basically draw your design on the stamp. I'm gonna do a little U-noodle design. You just want to cut along your line, just like trace all the way around it. And this rubber's great. I think it's by Speedball. It cuts like butter. And then you want to go in from the side and cut that layer off. And there's lots of great tutorials online if you want something more in-depth. Also be really careful not to cut your fingers. Alright, it's gonna look something like this. gonna have raised edges. And then you take your stamp pad, which you want to store upside down because you want all the ink to run down to the top of the pad. And you want to put your stamp down and you want to tap the pad onto the stamp. Once you got your stamp saturated with ink, you want to reactivate the ink right before you stamp. So you just want to huff on it, and the hot humidity from your breath is going to activate the ink. And then you set it down and you rock it from side to side, gently though. And voila, your stamp. And we can do a pattern. It's beautiful. So stamp side can do stamps, basic crafting skill, done. If you want to clean your stamp, you dip it in water and you tap it on a paper towel. So the next step is oven baked clay. This I have also done. I'll show you. I actually took an Altoids tin and I made little areas for watercolor paint. So this is a watercolor travel kit. Here's a teeny tiny little incognito one. These are great and they let you take them on airplanes and they fit in your pocket. So what I did is I just took a rectangle of clay, I put it into the tin, I took the lid off, put it into the tin, pushed some holes in it, and then I just baked it following the clay instructions. And then after, you just bake it right in the tin. After it's cooled, you reattach the lid and then you can fill it with any paint that you want, or gouache, whatever you want to do. So that's oven baked clay done. Now the next one is water marbling, and I'm going to dedicate this to Christine. So I've got my water here, and I've got 2 nail polishes. So I have acrylic inks that would work great for this, except they're water-based. You want to use something that is not water-based so that it floats on top of the water. And we're going to water marble this stick because nature is beautiful and decorating it is even more beautiful. So I dropped the nail polish in and it dissolved in the water immediately. And I think that's because there's a lot of other substances in this water, like paint. Alright, so what I have here is a glass container with saran wrap, and then the water is on top of the saran wrap, so I'm not going to ruin my glass container. And let's try this again. Alright, that's much better. It's floating to the top. And then we've got a navy color. Alright, we've got it suspended. Take our stick and I'm just gonna do a little scoop and roll. Very nice. Oh, it's working well. Ooh, maybe I'll try the end of this paintbrush. Wow, that worked really well. I am honestly shocked and surprised. That I am very pleased with. What a beautiful stick. Alright, so water marbling, not as hard as I thought. And I feel like kind of a jerk saying that because I know a lot of people struggle, but I think the key is to use a clean container with clean water. Okay, now the next one is Mod Podge. And let me tell you, I don't have Mod Podge because I gave it away. I do not like it at all. For me, it has way too much water content, and that means that what you're Mod Podging is going to wrinkle and crinkle, especially if it's a thin paper or if it has a coating on it like a magazine, it's gonna wrinkle up. So what I recommend is they have matte gel, and it's a little pricey, but if you're doing a project that you want to turn out really well, then it's definitely worth it. And then I also recommend clear gesso will work too. Alright, so I'm going to use this matte gel to paste down this piece of a magazine. I really love these colors. So the key with this is you want to have a slightly damp brush again. Oh, this one is dried out. The clear gesso, front and back. This is really great for art journals because it dries kind of coarse, so it's really easy to draw or paint on top of it, and it's not gonna have that slick texture. that makes your pages stick together. Okay, this is not working at all, and I realize now why. So with the gesso, I usually glue it down with a glue stick and put the gesso on top. And my matte gel is all dried up. So I'm gonna say out of 10, this one I struggled with. This is a struggle. This is something I need to practice. All right, I'm not gonna be defeated by this because these are basics. These are things that I know I can master. I have faith in myself. So I'm gonna go with some gel gloss, which is just a medium. It's kind of got the texture of a face cream, and you wanna get both sides. Also, let me tell you, I'm going right over this ink and it's not smudging. When you go for ink, Memento's a really good brand. You can get it at Michael's and it will not run. You see, I put the gel right over it and it's not bleeding. It looks good. It's gonna dry nice and flat because I'm using a good quality gel. Even though both of these papers are really thin, you can see it's not gonna buckle and get those teeny little wrinkles in it. Once you collage your pieces down, you put a piece of saran wrap over it, set a book on it, leave it overnight. It will dry so flat and so crisp. Oh, also, I brought this out because I wanted to show you something cool. If you take a bunch of water and you just saturate watercolor paper. So you got this line of water, and then you get your highly pigmented watercolor and you just load up your brush. Then you just tap it. Ooh. Isn't that beautiful? I always thought that was really cool. All right, so the last basic crafting skill on the list is to apply gold leaf, which is tricky. I've watched so many videos on it out of fascination. And since this is the 10th and final one and it's kind of fancy, I'm gonna save this because I wanna challenge Callie to apply gold leaf. Me versus her, and just see how that goes, because I have now mastered 9 of the 10 basic crafting skills. And I think I'm ready for number 10 to be a challenge. All right, guys, I hope that you go and practice your crafting skills as well. Be creative, try new things, and I will see you later. This stick is so cool, but the tassel doesn't really hold up to stress.